think when the racing took control of my life was when I was around 8, 9 years old. That's when I first got my pony. There was so much involvement in horse racing in the people around me that I feel like it all just fell in together at the same place. You know, nursery, primary school and secondary school with Sam Twiston-Davis. He was one of my best friends. From the age of 2 to the age of 16, 17, you know, me and him were inseparable. So I grew up with Sam.
Grow up, girl.
I'd be, oh, Chris, you're going over to play at Sam's house this weekend. Or I'd be like, Mum, can I go over there? And it would be like the whole buzz. You're going down to sort of Nigel's yard and just grew up in a area which is kind of racing dominated in the Cotswolds. You know, so many trainers around here. I was always ambitious, but I wouldn't know what I wanted to do now. If I hadn't gone on Love Island, I would be a 27-year-old now not knowing still what I wanted to do in life. I know that for a fact. Quickly, for a short amount of time, it's like, it's mad, you're in this bubble, but I think after that, you know, everything just feels like work. I now wake up and feel like I'm going to work because it's all kind of sunk in and everything, which isn't a bad thing. But yeah, going to the races now, you know, working on ITV and alongside AP, you know, AP for me was my idol growing up. I used to look at AP, if I was ever in the same room with him, like, I'd start panicking a bit. Like, he was one of them people where, you know, he's like a full-on idol to me. Like, it's crazy, really, but that's the way life goes sometimes, isn't it? Everything began up here at Jackdal's when, you know, I was training in the charity race and I was up here a couple of times a week. Wasn't like getting fit for it because I had to obviously shed a few pounds as well while I was out and obviously, you know, get back riding. It kind of just felt right at the end of it from like a Coral point of view, you know, being a Coral Champions Club ambassador, that we kind of got a horse here. So, you know, the news came in, you know, there's one here, nice little purchase, 20,000, Annie Mac. And yeah, it was exciting. I remember the first day she was up here, I came up here and I rode her out. She just gave me a great feel then, and I remember doing a little Insta video. I said, everybody, you know, meet Annie Mac, she's gonna be a legend. And, you know, instantly it got picked up on Radio 1 on the breakfast show. Greg James picked it up and said, so Chris has been riding his horse this morning, let's just have a little listen, see what it's called. And then obviously it's the link to the DJ, Annie Mac. So he played that on his breakfast show, and I remember sending that to Or You Like Coral, being like, this is a nice bit of coverage here.
Annie Mac, in the colours of the Coral Champions Club, is going to comprehensively beat the others here.
You know, I got a nice little feeling, and she absolutely hosed up. Yeah, I think we were all confident that day, to be honest with you. I think, you know, that was when we discovered that 2.5 miles, you know, probably our trip.
Have I ever told you how much I love you? Because I do. Looking beautiful, isn't she? Yeah. Right. Good morning. Good morning.
She had pointed before we bought her, you know, and so she's a bit of experience under her belt, really, and she's quite a clever jumper and quite an intelligent mare, to be fair to her, you know.
The morning of Newbury, I remember watching the opening show and they kind of previewed that race because it was live on ITV and no one mentioned her name. And I was thinking, you know, this horse is 7-8 to 1. I said, I don't know how you haven't mentioned her name.
Annie Mac, John Joe O'Neill Jr. has produced her from the back of the field to be a 5-length leader at the last and heads now towards the final furlong and is already 10 lengths ahead. Annie Mac, John Joe O'Neill Jr., a very big double for him this afternoon in quality races. Annie Mac is coasting up towards the line. She's won very easily indeed.
It was a special day, Grade 2 winner. And that's when, you know, we thought, okay, you know, it's a serious racehorse.
She does everything sweet. She's mad enthusiastic at home, always want to get on with the job. She's very genuine, and, you know, when you get a mare like that, you know, you never know where you end up with her.
And then obviously we went chasing with her, and that was the next chapter.
Annie Mac has moved to a 1.5 length advantage as they move to the last. Asks for a big leap, and boy did she deliver. Annie Mac bounds over it successfully by 3 lengths and goes on to win with John Joe O'Neill Jr.
Every time she runs, she gives us something else to think about. You know, whether it's, you know, oh, this is her triple, or this is what ground she likes. Oh, you know, she jumps ridiculously well, because that's what she does, you know. You know, she went chasing and we're thinking, you know, she's built for chasing, but they still got to jump the things, and she was inch perfect that day around everything. And then we thought, okay, we started thinking about Cheltenham there in early doors. Then she went to Wetherby. she jumped the last superbly, and she got so much social reaction, whether it was on racing TV, whether it was on the Racing Post, at the races, whatever it was, you know, she got so much coverage that day. Frodon won that day as well. So last time out at Bangor, that was the big test. That was the one to see, you know, is she ready for the festival? And she was good, weren't she?
Win to the wings of the final fence they come. Annie Mack, again she saw it on a good stride, didn't waste any time in the air. She lands 5 or 6 lengths clear. John Joe Jr. glancing under his shoulder, but the competition is over and done. Annie Mack will make it 3 out of 3 over fences. She'll remain unbeaten and defeat her old rival, and it's a landmark winner this season for John Joe Jr. as Annie Mack scores for the Coral Champions Club.
She leaves us with, you know, the fact that we haven't seen her at her best yet. You know, she's still, in my opinion, relatively sort of unexposed. There's a lot to give. Like, we haven't seen her fully have to, you know, get down to it. You know, can she go to the next level? Can she win at the Cheltenham Festival? And for that reason, you know, you've got to say she's a live contender. It's so exciting, you know, to have this involvement with a horse who's now running the Cheltenham Festival. But there's also, it comes with the other side, you know, you're this involved with a horse, this invested, it kind of brings the nerves and the anxiety. Like, I personally hate that feeling before a race. Like, as a punter, as a race goer, you'll kind of enjoy that kind of build-up. But when you have an involvement with a horse, it's not really a nice feeling. It doesn't matter whether she's running at Wetherby or Wincanton, or whether she's running at the Cheltenham Festival, you know, that feeling's always the same. I think the nerves also come with the fact that I think she's got a genuine chance. You know, she's not 100 to 1 shot. She's not just making up numbers here and got an entry. You know, she's going for the marsh because we think she can win it. Oh, if she wins at Cheltenham, that'd be waterworks. But I'd love to see her walk in where he is pricked. That'd be a hell of a reception she'd get. And she can do it.